Hello everyone, we've got here, this is paper 2 from November 2024 for Edexcel. So let's have a look at the first question. So it says, use your calculator to work out the value of that. Write down all of the digits on your calculator display. So I think the most important thing is it can be easy just to make a mistake in terms of how we enter this. So I would start off by pressing the square root button, or first of all I'd get to there. Then I would press the square root button, then I would press the fraction button, and then I would put 208.3 minus 15.7 over 5.694 plus 1.8 squared, like so. And then press equals, and I get that that is 4.64306 So I just write that down. So, but the key thing there is just to make sure you use the fraction button and that button there. Okay, that makes that one easier. So that's question 1. Question 2. The scatter diagram shows some information about some ships. It shows the length and the width of each ship. What type of correlation does the scatter graph show? Okay, it shows a positive. Okay, positive correlation. Okay, so positive. Now draw a line of best fit on the scatter diagram. So I always think that there's various ways that you can do this, but in this particular question it looks like we've got a lot of data here like this, and then up here we've got these 3 here, and it looks a bit like that. Okay, so there's my sort of rendition of what we've got. So there's various ways that you can do this, but let's have a look. You could draw, basically there is like a kind of method where you draw like a little line that sort of goes around all of the dots that you've got like that, and then you just draw a line that goes sort of through the middle of all of those dots. Okay, so something like that. So that's, I think, a good way of kind of like drawing a line of best fit. It says a different ship has a length of 194 meters. Use your line of best fit to find an estimate for the width of the ship. So what we would do is on our scatter diagram, we would basically just go up at 194 and we would go across. So at 194, we would go up to hit our line of best fit. We would then go across and we would read off the value, and we should get an answer that is in the range of 26.5 to 29.5. So they would accept answers in that range for question 2. Okay, what's next? Question 3. Chocky bars. So it says in London, a 200-gram chocky bar costs £3.50. In Zurich, a 360-gram chocky bar costs 7.20 Swiss francs. The exchange rate is £1 to 1.25 Swiss francs. In which city is the chocky bar best value for money, in London or in Zurich? So there's so many ways that we can do this, but we've basically just got to be able to compare like with like. So first of all, let's get both of the London and Zurich into pounds. Okay, so we've got at the moment 200 grams. This is, let's say we're in London, and then here we are in Zurich. Okay, so we've got 200 grams and it costs £3.50 in London. So if we have 360 grams in Zurich, let's convert that into pounds. Now, if every £1 is worth 1.25 Swiss francs, we basically need to take our 7.20 and divide that by 1.25. So 7.20 divided by 1.25 means that it is 5.76 Swiss francs. So £5.76, I'm sorry. So the equivalent cost of 360 grams of the chocolate in Zurich would be £5.76. Okay, so the next step now is to make the amount of chocolate match. Okay, so we've got 200 grams. Actually, why don't we just like go with 100 grams in both of the towns, because there's so many ways we can do these kind of questions. It's kind of like quite tricky to mark, because I mean, if you look at the mark scheme's got like a million different ways of working these things out. Like there's the mark scheme, there's so much going on there. But what I'm going to do is work out 100 grams. So let's go for 100 grams, okay? So that is going to be £3.50. So we're going to do £3.50 divided by 2 is going to give us £1.75. Okay, so we can say that in London, 100 grams of 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 would cost us £1.75. Okay, let's now see how much it would cost in Zurich. So I need to divide that by, in order to get the same amount, we need to get to 100 in both of them. So to get to 100 in both of them, in Zurich, I'm going to divide by 3.6, because if I've got 360 and I divide it by 3.6, let's see what that gives us. So 360 on my calculator divided by 3.6 is 100, okay? So what we need to do is we need to take our £5.76 and divide it by 3.6. So if I divide £5.76, divide that by 3.6, that gives me £1.60, okay? So that is £1.60. So basically in Zurich, 100 grams of 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 is going to cost £1.60, as opposed to £1.75 in London. So therefore we can say that the 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 is the best value for money in Zurich. And of course there are so many other ways we could have calculated that. Okay, but that's the way I just chose to do it. Question 4, what have we got? A Venn diagram. What does it say? It says odd numbers between 0 and 20 is the universal set, which is everything in the whole square. We've got various numbers there in A, and we've got various numbers there in B. Tom was asked to draw a Venn diagram for the information, and here is Tom's answer. Write down 2 things that Tom should do to make his answer fully correct. Okay, so let's just see, what has Tom done in terms of, well, it might be easier, you know, just to kind of like actually go through the process of doing this just really quick, just for the purpose of illustration. Okay, so what have we got? There is A and there is B. So I'm going to write down, so first of all, let me write down my list of numbers that is in A: 3, 9, 15, and 17. And then in B, I have got 5, I've got 7, I've got 11, I've got 13, I've got 17, and I've got 19. So first of all, any number that's in both lists can go in the middle. So Tom was right to put that one in the middle. We've got anything else that's in both lists? We've got 3 there, 5 there, 7, no, 15, 13. No, I don't think there's anything else that's in both lists. These numbers are going to go out here in A, so 3, 9, and 15. That seems good. 3, 9, 15. Then what else have we got on the outside here? We're going to have 5, we're going to have 7, we're going to have 11, and we're going to have 13. Okay, so we've got 5, we've got 7, we've got 11, and we've got 13. Okay, so we've got our numbers there. Now let's have a look and see what we've got. We've got another set of numbers, which is the fact that we have got odd numbers between 0 and 20. Okay, so odd numbers between 0 and 20. So on the outside, we need to have any odd number that we haven't got, and we're missing 1. Okay, because we've got 3, we've got all the other odd numbers going up to 20. We've got 3. We can see we've got 5, we've got 7, we've got 9, we've got 11, we've got 13, we've got 15, we've got 17, and so on. We've got 19 as well. Where is our 19? Our 19 is in there as well. Okay, so yeah, we've got all of those numbers there, but we were missing 1 on the outside. Okay, so that is now our correct Venn diagram. So the 2 things that Tom has done wrong, let's have a look. Number 1, Tom has put a 17 here where it shouldn't be there. There should only be a 17 in the middle. And Tom has also forgotten to put a 1 on the outside. So those are the 2 things that Tom should do in order to make his diagram fully correct. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you're finding these videos helpful. If you are finding them helpful, if you could remember to like and subscribe to the channel, that's going to help me keep on making more videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.